Good evening, everyone. My name is Robin Hugenboom. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager at Cable. I just wanted to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us for the info session this evening. The focus this evening is Let's Talk TV. This is a session focused on having an open discussion with you, the public. We are here to facilitate the gathering and sharing of information. The CRTC has made resources available so that you can submit your comments on how you want your TV experience to be. This information is on your handout. We will also share it at the end of the session. So to start off, we'd like to share a video with you that has been provided to us by the CRTC. It's the Vice Chairman of Broadcasting for the CRTC, and he's just going to reiterate for you why we're here today.
Hi. What's the Broadcasting Community Television and Telecommunications Commission, CRTC? We recently launched a conversation with Canadians about the future of television in this country. We're very interested in receiving your views on what's on TV, how it's being delivered to you, and whether you have enough information to make informed choices and get the most out of your TV experience. We encourage you to get together and discuss these issues and let us know what you think, any way you like. Hold a meeting, get together for coffee, or join others on your local community television channel. You can then send your views to Flash Conference at crtc.gc.ca. It can be a video, a report, as informal as you like. Please send us your views by no later than January 10, 2014. And remember, your views will make a difference. For more information, please visit our website at crtc.gc.ca.
So as a group, we have the opportunity to compile ideas, thoughts, and opinions and have them heard by the CRTC. Okay. So to facilitate this evening, we have Michael Fiorini, the Vice President and General Manager of Cable. Michael has been with Cable for 17 years. Prior to that, he worked in the early telecommunications and IT field. So with a total of 20 years experience in telecommunications, he has obtained a wealth of knowledge on the topics at hand. Let's give Michael a warm welcome.
Thank you, Robin. So everybody, Cable's primary role here tonight is not to be Cable, but we are all here to happen to have experience and background in the industry to help facilitate an open discussion. There's a lot of things going on in the telecom industry, particularly with respect to broadcasting, television. So the government, the Conservative government, has given the National Broadcasting Regulator, the CRTC, marching orders to undertake a full examination of the impact that the unbundling of television channels could have on consumers. Now, who here is familiar with unbundling or what it means? You have an understanding of that? So unbundling, right now when you buy a package from your service provider, be it Cable, be it ExpressView, be it Shaw, you buy channels in a package. So what the CRTC is trying to investigate is what's the benefit of unbundling for the consumer, not for the industry, but for the consumer. What does the consumer want? How do they want it and when do they want it? And so this is what we're here to discuss today. So let me get to it. All right. There are currently two concepts on the outcome of unbundling. So right now, package is in, and what they're talking about is unpackaging. The first concept is that consumers have been very vocal about wanting to unbundle and why. People want flexibility and they want choice. They want better programming and they want to control their costs. And the second concept is that some experts have warned that the forced unbundling of television channels will result in negative effects for both the consumer and the industry as a whole. They think that prices of unbundled channels could be higher. There will be fewer channels, and that unbundling will threaten tens of thousands of jobs in the industry. Click. What will unbundling mean for Canadian television? Well, first we need to talk about the current model and how that works. So the current model is comprised of three components. You have programmers, broadcasters, and distributors. So right now, programmers and broadcasters they're together. So we've got companies like Bell Media, Rogers Media, Shaw Media. They own about 65 to 70% of all the Canadian content. Not just Canadian, all the content you watch on TV is owned by three major corporations. So programmers and broadcasters, I'm going to lump them into one, right, for purposes of this discussion, because that's really who we're dealing with. So the job of programmers and broadcasters is first to create content, and their business model is to create a lot of that content. And then their other business model is to acquire public funding so they can create distinct Canadian distinct Canadian content. And then their other business model as a broadcaster is to create a lot of channels. And then their other model as a broadcaster is to sell all their channels. And finally, they need to package their channels in high penetration tiers or bundles and sell it to the highest bidder at the highest cost. And they do that to the distributors, and enter us. And our business model, we buy channels from broadcasters, programmers, and we put them in a channel lineup. And our business model is to create packages with low per channel sub rates, as low as possible, and translate these low rates into competitive retail costs so we can compete, and then to sell as many bundles or packages as possible. And here's some truths about the end game. Broadcasters and programmers provide significantly lower wholesale rates when we bundle their services and often do not allow standalone pick and pay or a la carte delivery of channels. And broadcasters who do allow pick and pay often do so at significantly higher cost than a bundled channel. And what this ensures is the highest penetration rates possible for broadcasters, who then take these penetration rates and say, hey, advertisers, look at all the eyeballs I have. Now pay me to put your ads, and I'll shove them in front of all these people and they'll watch. And you pay me and we'll be happy. So what are the pros and cons of unbundling? I have some pros here, with obviously more choice and flexibility. That seems to be the primary outcome. Fewer crappy channels and programming, and all the good programming will be on these fewer channels. There's some cons too, though, and we have unknown pricing effects. We have a loss of Canadian content, and of course the loss of Canadian jobs, because as we have fewer channels, there will be few people to employ. There just won't be anybody to make these. I have a commentary about this, and it goes like this. Consumers in most a la carte models end up paying more or less the same as what they were paying before. And all they have to show for it now is that they have fewer channels. And this is important. So unless the legislation to move to an a la carte regime also regulates pricing, there's nothing that's going to stop these channels from becoming super expensive. That's a very important thing. There needs to be two sides of this legislature. Sure, we can unbundle, but it's going to cost. It's just pure economics. We're not going to see Bell Media or Rogers Media or any of the other vertically integrated companies roll over and say, sure, I'll reduce my revenues. Why not? It's just not in their history. They've never done it, and it's corporately irresponsible. So we have some takeaway questions, some things we need to think about. Will there be more choice? Do I care if people lose jobs? Will the pricing be lower or higher? Am I willing to pay the same? Am I willing to pay more? And ultimately, is unbundling something I want? Programming, and what do you think about what's on your TV? Well, everyone has different tastes. We all like our different things. I like sports and I like movies. Even more though, so I have different tastes, we all have different tastes, but I dislike duplication. I dislike it so much. You go through your program guide and you see all the CTVs and they all have the same program in the same time slot on the same day. What's the point? And just so you know, there's over 700 channels that are authorized to broadcast in Canada. And here's my concerns with that. Broadcasters that are vertically integrated hold all the cards. They have power. And they spread good content too thinly. Consumers spend way too much time navigating their TV guide. And the economics aren't going to change unless, as I said before, and remember this is important, unless the legislation to move to an a la carte regime also regulates pricing, we're not going to win. As consumers, there's no benefit. So we need to talk to the CRTC about these things. Click. Lastly, we want to talk about technology and what do you think about how you receive your television programming. In my house, the primary viewing device for watching is still the television. In fact, I watch all my internet content over my television as well. I love my couch. Who doesn't? The concept of TV everywhere is there, it's out there, but it's still in its infancy. It's taking a little bit longer to evolve. For this concept to take hold and for consumers to actually find it worth paying attention to, a few things need to happen first. First of all, service providers, and when I say this in a TV everywhere environment, I'm talking primarily about wireless carriers. They need to offer realistic and fair price plans for data. They also, service providers, not just wireless, but cable companies, Bell, cable, whoever your internet service provider is, we need to stop imposing usage limitations. Or at least we need to impose realistic ones that are fair across the board. And over-the-top broadcasters like Netflix need to start contributing to the system and participate fairly as well. Right now, Netflix has, I love Netflix, don't get me wrong. We actually brag about being a Netflix-friendly company. We have promotions where we say, hey, Netflix your face off. And my wife and I use it religiously. But they don't pay a cent to Canadian infrastructure. They get all the revenues. Now, the upside to that for consumers is it's a really low monthly rate. So if they start contributing, you could probably see those rates go up. That's the unfortunate thing about economics in this industry. So we have some takeaway questions here and things we need to think about. How do you prefer to watch television? Do you prefer traditional TV, online, smartphone, etc.? How do you watch your programs? Do you watch them live? Do you watch them on demand? Do you put them on a PVR? And how do you think we'll receive and watch television in Canada in the next 5 to 10 years? So you heard the CRTC chairman, Tom Pantafuntis, say that he was concerned about Canadians not being informed. And like we said at the introduction and beginning of my commentary here, we're here to facilitate a discussion and help our area come together with some kind of response and commentary back to the CRTC to let them know what we think and what we want, how we want, and when we want with respect to TV. And I'm done, but now we'll open up for questions.
I remember Rogers, this is a bad idea, I don't know who in Rogers said, hey, I have a great idea, let's do this. Let's put up a billboard on the Don Valley Parkway right by Eglinton Avenue and show how many texts we're doing in real time.
Yes, sir.
Is there any realistic expectation that the CRTC would ever regulate prices?
The question was, is there any realistic expectation that the CRTC will regulate pricing? The answer is no. They don't do that.
I didn't think so.
They don't. This could all very well be a soapbox opportunity for the Conservative government. But as a consumer, I'm hopeful that this is the case. Unbundling is something that's going to happen. And to talk about politics a little bit more, my experience in dealing with government and government funding and other programs is that it's a game. It's a rat race. we've been in situations where they've come at a group of, they've targeted an industry and they said, okay, we're going to do some funding here, we're going to do this, and everybody's all excited. All the players are getting together and they're ready to fight each other for that last cent, and then the funding goes away. But guess what? We're still scared of each other and we build it anyways, just because we don't want the other guy to do it. So they wake the sleeping dog. And this could very well be one of those sleeping dog opportunities. There's a company in Toronto called V Media that is the first company in Canada to do an unbundled service. The way it works is they have a basic package. It's $24, and you get all these channels down here. I don't recall off the top of my head what they are, but they're standard basic channels. And then for $2.25 per channel, you can buy one channel. $1.75 per channel for 6 channel packages. I think it's $1.50 per channel if you buy a 12-channel package. So the end result there is if you only want 6 channels, you're going to pay, what's quick math here, 6 times $1.75 plus $24. And it could very well be a lot lower than what your TV cable bill is right now. So that's a win for customers. But the odds are that a lot of these crappy channels that are out there with really good content that's spread too thinly, they're still going to be around. So because the revenues are not changing. The business model is the way that's distributed and packaged is going to change, but the amount of money that's put back into the system, it's not likely that that's going to happen. So like I said, unless some kind of regulation or some kind of concept other than regulation comes into play here, it's not likely.
So we're going to pay more?
No. It's pay more with unbundling or pay more without unbundling?
Well, you said if the CRTC would regulate prices, the prices would be stable. Then you say that the CRTC isn't likely to do that, and I don't think they're likely to do it either. So we're going to get what we want, but we'll be paying a little bit more for it.
No, what I said was that the CRTC, it's not likely that the CRTC is going to regulate pricing. I didn't say that this prices are going to be stable, because they aren't. Programmers and broadcasters raise their rates every year. And I don't know what the other service providers are doing, but as far as I know, there hasn't been a rate increase in about 4 years. So,
if I understood you correctly, if we want choice, we're going to have to pay for that.
That is probably the outcome, but it depends. I mean, it's hard to have a crystal ball and look at this and say, hey, you watch 12 channels, you watch 20 channels, you got 6 people that live in your house, so you watch 35. Well, they're the people with the most homes, the most variety, the most, I guess, dynamic. The fewer dynamics you have with respect to variety, the cheaper your bill will be. So if the two of you love sports, only sports, you're not going to have to buy movies or those other jewelry, TV. You know, you won't have to buy those. So your bill's going to go down. But if you have 5 kids and some of them like music, some of them like sports, some of them like this, some of them like that, $2.25 a channel, or you can pick several packages and go that way. I highly recommend that you Google V Media. Can you Google on your phone, actually, and maybe come up with this proper spelling for me? Please, Robin? It's a really good model. I like the way they've structured it, and I like the initiative they've taken. I don't know if it's going to work. They're a new company. Yes, sir?
Well, I'm going to see with CRTC, they don't give a damn about us. Not one damn bit.
Is that a question?
They don't care what the hell we're going to send in or complain about.
I'll tell you right now, this was a conservative government initiative.
Doesn't matter which government it is. We used to have a satellite in the Kingston area, and the company would register us out of Watertown, New York. We got all kinds of channels on my satellite. The minute they lost their franchise, oh, well, you can't have that, can't have that. I used to get Formula One feed directly from the racetrack with no commercials. It didn't cost me any more than to listen to 45 minutes out of 1 hour of commercials for the same Formula 1 race.
You hammered a lot of points there, and they're all very valid. Listen, we used to be able to watch OHL in college, in Canadian university sports for free. Guess what? Now they're all with Sportsnet. So things have changed. People have monetized, people have sought out opportunities and monetized these opportunities. And it's just the way that things are going. When you have, it's hard to say where it started, except, you know, corporate greed is definitely an underlying factor. And with respect to the CRTC, like I was saying, this is a conservative government, and I voted conservative. This is a conservative government initiative, and look around you and tell me if there's any conservative representatives here tonight despite being invited. None. There's none. You don't have to look around. And I honestly feel the CRTC did a terrible job of saying, hey, guess what? We need to talk to you. We need to hear from you. And we found, well, the CRTC didn't give us that video. We went and found it on the internet.
So they're really not advertising out there for the people to really sit down?
They're not advertising it. And do you remember when Verizon was coming into Canada and they were going to buy Wind or Mobilicity, and all the big carriers got together and said, no, you're not, and wah, wah, wah. And Industry Canada, they put out an advertising campaign to like get back at the wireless big guys. Who does that? That's the Canadian government slamming a Canadian industry, for one, but secondly, the amount of money they spent to do it, it's erroneous. But this is important, and they did nothing. You know, Tom looked great on the video. I'll give him that, and he seemed very genuine. And I know for a fact that the CRTC is very genuine when they hear real Canadian stories. So I really, really, really encourage everybody here that is concerned about what's going to. This is what I want. This is what you need to tell them. These are the experiences you need to tell them, and it has to do with what I want, when I want it, and how I want it. So if you can tell them those three things, they will listen to you. Yes, sir.
20 years, it'll be like the post office. We won't have television. Take a look at the technology changes in the last 3 years alone.
Yeah.
Plus the previous 12 years.
You're right.
When I was a young kid, I walked around with a piece of string and a Coke bottle cap, and I played Dick Tracy. Kids today don't know what Dick Tracy was or who.
I put a hockey card in my bicycle spokes and had a motorcycle.
And we can communicate
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
And just a short 20 years ago, you couldn't call Alaska directly. You had to call the operator and tell her you wanted to make a call in 45 minutes. They'd get a hold of Alaska and tell them had a call coming in 44 minutes, and then you get a call back. Now you just pick up your cell phone, you're talking anywhere in the world.
Well, sir, nostalgia is a wonderful thing, but the CRTC wants to hear your story. They want to hear, what do you want, sir? What do you want? What do you want to watch? I want my racetrack free, commercial free. Okay, sir. Well, we're gonna talk to the industry about doing two versions of channelizing things: ad supported and not ad supported. Well, if you want the ad-supported one, you get that for free. If you want the unsupported ads, you're going to have to pay. So
the problem is that a lot of the public today cannot afford to pay what the need for Green Society is demanding and will get, because they don't care. They don't give a damn about the average Joe, as long as they got that $3 or $4 million.
Yep.
Who the hell needs $800 or $8,000 a night sweep to sleep there when they travel?
Yeah, like we can debate that. The thing about that is economics. You know, if nobody's paying, then there's no industry. So if nobody has the money to pay for it, they're not going to buy it. It's going to go bye-bye. And you're right about the current television model. It's a dinosaur. It needs to go. It needs to go away. People are very savvy technology-wise, and they know how to find what they want. And they find it when they want it, how they want it. And what I mean by how they want it, they find it online. They find it through Apple TV. They don't find it through the TV program guide anymore. When's the last time? How much time do you think you spend on your surfing your EPG, your electronic program guide? A lot, or even the scrolling channel guide on our analog service. A lot. You spent a lot. If you timed it, you'd probably. It's probably more, I should put some commercials on those things. Well, some entertaining commercials then.
If they do end up deciding on unbundling, okay, with cable, where would that leave us as customers? Do you set the price then as to what it will cost us to get extra channels?
I will be told, we've already been taken to court, not just cable, I belong to an association. We've been taken to court by Bell Media. They have 29 specialty channels. They just purchased Austral Media, which gave them another 30. They own 50 to 60% of the content in Canada. It's huge. We were arbitrating. They set the, well, we came in with a proposal. They came in with a proposal. We didn't agree. It went to arbitration. And in arbitration in this industry, the arbitrator picks this one or this one. There's no mediation. So okay, we lost, and that sucked. Just 1 second, sir. So the rates are going up. The standalone prices are ridiculous. So what's going to happen? Cable's going to take these costs. I would like to hear from everybody. Say, hey, should I put this channel here? No, okay, I won't. But I'm told I have to carry it. And this is how I have to carry it, and this is my guaranteed minimums. I have to guarantee minimums, even if nobody watches it. I'm sorry, sir, I believe you were...
That's what I was going to ask you. Are you the middleman like Rogers or Bell?
I am the middleman.
I saw the Rogers box brought into
Yes.
my house, so I recognize that box. So you're buying from them and they tell you what you have.
Well, when I say Rogers, I mean Rogers Media, the
Yeah.
channels.
Yeah.
Rogers is also a distributor,
Yeah.
like cable. So we're not a franchise of Rogers. We are a company a lot like, we're Rogers. We have the exact same technology. Everything they do, we do. We're kind of copycats. We don't reinvent the wheel. It's too expensive to do that. But
Are you sending out my signal to me?
yes,
So they're sending it to you, you're sending it to me?
we acquire signals. So transport is one component. We bring them in, we groom them, send them out, make sure everything's working, and send them out.
Do you change the ads that go in them or anything?
I'm only allowed to do that on certain ads, and none of them belong to me, Bell or Rogers.
So when I flip the TV and I've got the movie in Ontario and then I have the East Coast and I have the West Coast,
Yes.
the same show, you had no choice.
No, that's called simultaneous substitution, and that's CTV or Global or what am I missing? CBC, one of those
So I'm
three.
not going to get mad at you anymore now that I understand.
You're in the front row, and I'm too close.
I didn't understand that.
No, that's one thing. The good thing about I have so many things about programming that I don't like, and as a consumer, I will put pen to paper, and by January 10th, I will have my information sent out to CRTC. And if you want to put your name to that, I would love to. Problem is, they don't want to hear from somebody who wrote something and had 20 people sign it. They want to hear from you and you, maybe not you both, you and you alone, everybody. They want to hear from everybody. They want to hear distinct stories, and they'll put them together and say, well, this is what's happening. What are we going to do about it? And back to this gentleman's point, do I really think it's going to happen? It's not going to happen by the CRTC. It's going to happen on its own. Yes, sir.
Are you going to be allowed to bundle and sell packages to us? Like, you have an idea, or you can, between now and when they shut it down and cancel the bundling, what channels are the most popular ones that your customers are watching? Can you buy these individual channels and make your bundles, just like a grocery store? I buy what product I want and I sell that. It all comes from National Grocers, it all comes from Loblaw, but I sell what I want in my store to my customers. Are you going to be allowed to do that?
Well, so if you have a grocery store and you buy from National Grocers, and let's pretend it's a negotiation, because you can't get it anywhere else, okay? So you say, I want to buy 2 pallets of cream corn cans of cream corn. This is what I'm willing to pay for it. Well, sir, this is what you're going to pay for it, and you're going to take these string beans over here too, and you're going to package them together, and you're going to sell them to your customers, or I'm going to take you to court. That's what's happening. So if I want to sell you just Sportsnet, it's going to cost me a lot of money. If I want to sell you all 5 Sportsnet channels, it's going to cost me a lot less money, and it's going to cost the consumer a lot less money. It's all advertising driven.
Will they still be able to force you into accepting or distributing bundles when it's supposed to be unbundled?
This soapbox that's going on right now is going to give us some negotiating power and say, you better give us some unbundling. And we actually had a discussion with our board of directors today, which I'm part of in this industry, which is pretty important. I have a good say in what happens in our membership. And one of the topics was, during that arbitration process, we already argued the point of unbundling. And so there is a provision in arbitration, if new legislation comes forward, you can reopen this case. So again, without a crystal ball, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Your, as a company, Cable's intent, if you will go to unbundling, will be to essentially get the same revenue for the same costs without jacking the price up just because it's unbundled.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I want customers. Our value is customers. We have a great internet product. If we can sell our internet product and our home phone product, and right now our margins are shrinking and shrinking and shrinking on video. And if I can maintain or get a cost decrease, I'll take the same revenue at a cost decrease or a marginal increase in revenue with an increase in costs over just sticking it to the customer. Did that answer things?
That would be nice.
That would be nice. Because I'm a consumer. I grew up in this area. This was my father's belief, and I think this is something that we need to carry forward.
So if the town got bigger and there's more people in
Yes.
the town, does that give you
Can you
more
help?
power?
Can you make that happen?
I'm doing my best. Does that give you more power?
No.
No.
No. Bell Media. Big. They own everything. They own the content. They own the broadcasting rights and licenses. They also own their own distribution. They're incredibly powerful in this industry. Did you notice how after Rogers announced that they bought the NHL for $5.2 billion, that TSN turned around and said, well, we buy the NFL. So let me put it to you this way. What do you think those guys spending that much money means to them and their outtake on what's going to happen with unbundling? Do you think that they're going to spend that much money and let the industry change that much? I don't think so. That's a really good indicator of how the big guys see this. So you're not going to see the big guys really go to town on this. You're going to see the innovative companies like V Media that are hungry for customers and want to do well as they want to grow. And it's companies like that that realize that, hey, you can't rely on your millions of customers to let you do stuff and then do nothing for the customer. You know, every customer, every single customer, every customer that comes through our door, every extra customer we get 1 customer a day. That means so much to Cable. That means so much to the little guy. And the big guy, it's, without anybody calling a lawyer on me, they don't care. They don't. And I'm talking as a consumer, and right now I'm kind of talking as cable, so I'm going to stop that. What we want to do is talk about what it is you want to do. Well, how do you want to talk to the CRTC, and what do you want to say?
Does the CRTC have a limit on advertising?
Yes, 12 minutes an hour. That doesn't include station identification. You know those, and then those cute little, aren't they so much fun when you're watching your TV program and they pop up, what's coming next? They're allowed to do that. I hate that. You don't get that on Netflix. I like Netflix.
There's 2 Netflix, a Canadian and American one.
Yes. The comment was there are two Netflixes. There's a Canadian one and an American one. Another really interesting can of worms you opened up there. Here's another indicator of what's going to happen. Is unbundling going to happen? The majority of programming on your television is American. You get a free flyer on your way out. It's American, and they don't want to unbundle. They don't. They don't, and they won't. So I can't really see, without initiatives like V Media, I can't see anything really taking shape here.
It's the same with telephone. The cost of telephone here in Canada is outrageous. You go to the States and use your cell phone down there and see what kind of a bill you get.
Yeah, I agree. The comment was that he's pointing out that the cost of phone service, wireless, probably wireless. Are you talking about wireless? Because I think their landlines are the same cost. Wireless phone rates are awesome in the States. And back to my point, we need reasonable data rates. We want an all-in-one package, and they don't do that here. They just, here's your limit, go to it. Oh, day one, you're over your limit. Money, 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 money. I remember Rogers, this is a bad idea. I don't know who in Rogers said, hey, I have a great idea, let's do this. Let's put up a billboard on the Don Valley Parkway right by Eglinton Avenue and show how many texts we're doing in real time. 25 cents a text. And they're advertising how much money they're making as you drive down the Don Valley Parkway. It's unreal the amount of money they make. Yes, sir.
A little bit, if you watch Dragon Den, and it's Kevin O'Leary, it's all about making money. They don't give a damn what you have.
I agree.
And I make a big buck on that real fast. If I can't, when you're wasting your money, but you should have quit 2 years ago. Nobody looks at the product that took time to develop. Only you're interested in big
What's my take? In that they have shareholders. They're responsible to.
This is what I see after I just made a month-long trip down through the states, Southwest, all the way to California and back, 6,500 miles. It's amazing the amount of areas that haven't recovered from 2008. And we here haven't recovered. We're in a depression, but nobody wants to officially admit that we are in a depression.
No, give me your wallet. Open up your wallet. Pour it out right in front of me. That's what the industry's crying for. They want more from you. Do you have it? No. Why are you raising the rates? Because it costs more to make.
Pay $80 a night and get a breakfast in the morning that would cost me $25 across the street.
That's bundling.
And come under $80 I paid for the room. It's unreal. Here, $145 for the same room, and I don't get a breakfast. This is what I'm saying. We're overpricing here in Canada, overcharging for the quality of what we're actually going to get. And as soon as they break the bundles, you're going to see a lot of people just can't afford to pay that kind of money. They're not making it.
People are paying that now. What I'm saying is that prices are likely not going down. I think if you go to look at this V Media company, I think you're going to see some merit to it. I don't know if you're going to like it. You're still going to pay some money. I don't know. See, I can't say how much it's going to cost because it's now they have a pick and pay thing, and everybody has different taste. And some people have one person in the home, some people have 6, like I said. So the more people you have in your home, the more costly your bill is going to be in an a la carte model. I can tell you right now, with the Bell Media agreement and the other agreements we have in place for that matter, it is a lot cheaper to bundle stuff and package it. And the argument that I'm not watching that, why should I pay for it? Because if I break it apart, you're going to pay the same and get half or less. So it's like, I'm thirsty. Well, I'll give you a jug of Kool-Aid instead of a glass because it's cheaper.
One of the problems we have in Fenelon is that it's a small community with a lot of retirement. People driving this sort of initiative in the big cities, Toronto, Montreal, Richmond, whatever, the big cities, most of those are working for a living, and they can afford things, but we can't. And they're going to drive the prices up. They And it's very hard to hold the price down here when it's going up everywhere else.
I can tell you right now, the mentality is this is a luxury. It's not heat, it's not hydro, it's not food, it's TV. And that's, I feel you, but I'm just telling you what the truth is on that. So they're going to make money on luxury items. You know how much a ticket to watch the Maple Leafs costs live? Who can take their 6-year-old son? My dad took my twin brother and I to watch the Leafs play on my 7th birthday. I won't say what year that was. But it was amazing. We had nosebleed seats. It was probably $7 a ticket. It was at Maple Leaf Gardens, and we watched Boston Bruins kick the crap out of the Leafs. And I loved it. But who can take their kid to go watch the Leafs play? Unless you have contacts. No. They sell it. It's all corporate. They're all corporate tickets. Corporate tickets. Yeah. Well, seasons tickets owned by Deloitte and Touche and downtown Toronto, unfortunately. But they don't. The corporations, as long as they're opening your wallet, the shareholders are smiling. That message is going to be still resonate loud and clear every day.
Well, it's interesting. Look how many people here. Think about it. The whole town should have been here. I mean, a lot of the town have cable. And look how many of us showed up to find out what was really going on. So a lot of people just take for granted. We're given it, you pay it, because that's what's going to happen, right? That's right.
Society looks at those letters at the top, CRTC.
It would be great. They will. They really enjoy your story. I'm not kidding you. I've seen it happen. I've seen.
I think they got the guts to tell the need to breed people that you can't have what you want.
Oh, they've shut them down many times.
92% of all American politicians above city level in the United States are funded directly or indirectly by the oil industry. I bought gasoline in the States for $3 an American gallon, which is $3.60 Canadian gallon. Why am I paying $5.50, $2 more a gallon? Because we haven't got the guts to tell the oil companies, you can't charge that much. You're stealing from the public and there's no need for it. They just charge whatever they want because those politicians are funded.
People will charge whatever they can get away with. It's corporate policy. That's what the CEOs get paid huge bonuses to make sure that happens.
They won't turn it down. They won't tell them that you are overcharging.
Well, that's not entirely true, because I've been in situations where the small guy won, and this is one of those opportunities where we're not necessarily going to change things. We're not going to make it the counter to what's going on now, but we'll make it better for ourselves. And hey, you don't have to sign up for any cable TV. You can go on the internet and find whatever you want. It's there. It's there. I'm telling you right now. That's why this is happening. V-Media gets it. They go, I want some video customers. I'm gonna make it convenient for them to not go on the internet. Sit back, relax, grab your remote. So yeah, I feel for you, but the truth is, this is a luxury item. TV's a luxury item, and corporate governance is going to pull your wallet apart. Give me your credit card. You can't go down in the States and use a debit card. If you have money in the bank, they don't want you. Get out of, I'm not taking your money. Give me some credit card. Give me your gold card. Let me help the interest go up and up and up. And I'm spinning my wheels here. Next. Yes.
Michael, we've been cable ever since we moved here.
Thank you.
2000. We had a couple of glitches at the very beginning, but you had it all straightened out for us, and we've been extremely happy with the people that you've employed, the service you've provided.
Thank you.
It's been great.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'll tell you, my aunt, who just passed away, she was 90, lived in Toronto, and she would complain. She went from Bell and got fed up with them and said, get rid of it. She went to Rogers. She got fed up with that too. She couldn't understand. She was quite deaf. She could not understand because there was a lot of foreign people that were speaking.
Bell told her to get up on the roof then.
Bell told her to go up on the roof at 90 years old.
There's a story that the CRTC needs to hear.
Yeah. So anyway, she kept on saying, and she had pathway for internet, and again, it was hard of hearing, and she couldn't understand what he was saying most of the time. And she complained to me, and I said, oh, Auntie, I wish you had cable. She said, I wish you'd stop telling me about that, because I can't get it.
Well, let me tell you something.
Come down to Toronto.
I'm going to make a little joke here, and it's going to be funny, trust me. I'm going to say our employees are great, and they're great at taking care of customers. I just want to be funny for just 1 second. They're lazy. They're talking to someone, oh, you're hard of hearing, roll a truck. So that's how we take care of our customers. Just pass the buck down to the guy with the truck. Okay, that was an untruth. I just thought. Our guys in our trucks are awesome. Our ladies in the office and our guys in the office are awesome. In 2001, we had 9 or 10 employees. We're at 26 now. So we've grown significantly because of customers like you. So thank you very much.
Well, my son phoned from Midland and asked if you could go to Midland. You guys said no, but he called and
let's build our own system.
To Midland when he heard what we were paying and stuff.
Imagine what we could do if we were a cooperative. Anybody have experience with cooperatives? That's where you have multiple owners that are not just shareholders but active participants. That would be interesting. Yes.
I just have a concern down the road if this unbundling happens and a lot of your customers start viewing TV through the internet. Is there going to now a limit be set of what we can look at?
I don't believe it. I was in the infancy of the internet when it first came out. I was right there. I was working with distributors and manufacturers and tying in communication lines, and I understood what it was about. It was about the sharing of information, and you were given a speed at which you could transmit data, but you weren't told how much you could transmit. I don't believe in limits. I think you pay for this, you should get it. What I believe, but that's not going to go away until the limitations on your bandwidth usage aren't going away until companies like Netflix contribute to the infrastructure, because that's expensive to maintain. So if cable or any other service provider like us, Rogers, anybody that's not vertically integrated, until Netflix, we'll be able to survive without internet, with just our internet product and our phone product. But it's going to hurt. We're not going to be able to maintain the same employment levels. There probably will be a meter put on, because the CRTC's kind of put their hands up and say, yeah, well, if the customer wants it, they got to pay.
Well, when I email the CRTC, I'm also going to email our member of parliament.
We emailed her twice, didn't we? Emailed her twice.
See what happens.
All the members of parliament.
Talk to Barry too. Barry's right in Ottawa. You want to talk to Barry. DeVolin? He's retired.
He's not going to run again.
Not going to run again.
Oh, well, you have him until the next election. He's in Ottawa today, so he couldn't be here. I apologize on his behalf. Next question.
You have a question? When you send your comments to the CRTC, is there some way of sharing that with everyone that is on the internet?
When you post your comments to the CRTC, so the question was, when I submit something to the CRTC, is it possible for those commentaries to be viewed publicly? Yes. Is that what you want to happen? Because you can submit it anonymously or in confidence.
No, you misunderstood me.
Oh.
You submit your comments.
When I submit mine?
Because you don't want
No,
the same wording, I realize that.
I will be very vocal.
You might be able to pick out parts of it that we should all incorporate in our comments.
yes, my ego won't allow me to do anything anonymously. So,
So could you share your comments?
absolutely, yeah, I'd be happy to.
All right. How do you do it?
Sir, do you have a
our
question?
email.
How do you do it? How do you share them with
Why don't, what would you suggest? Robin's our communications manager, she's the genius on this. There's lots of ways we could do it. We could put it on Twitter, social media.
Did
No.
you all come here because you got an email? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
I
so
will
you
send
have our
it.
email.
Yeah, have everyone's email.
Okay.
I'll email it to everyone.
yeah.
And give us enough time.
Yeah, we'll also put a notice, hey, look, Cable's provided their commentaries. Because I'm in the industry, and because I'll be filing a different response than consumer, I have till April 24th. You have till January 10th. That's another thing that upsets me, but
That's not a lot of time.
no.
And when did
What are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow? You're shopping for gifts. What are you doing after you get your gifts? You're wrapping them, and then people show up, and you're cooking turkey, and then you're hungover, and then it's New Year's, and then it's January 10th, and
Cut off.
cut off. So we'll.
Your comments may not be going in before January.
I will put something together and make sure Robin gets it out there
Thank you.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure.
as a consumer,
Yes.
and then I'll file my cable company
Yeah.
reply later. And it won't be too much different. I'll just probably have more legal jargon in it.
What is the whole circumference of the area that cable covers?
For television, it's anything north of Lindsay. We just bought the Bethany system from Eastlink, so we're in Bethany. We have a system in Mariposa Creek Estates, which is just north of Scugog. So it's, geographically speaking, it's huge. It's huge. Our system passes, and that's just our television, our coaxial system. Our fiber optics and wireless system, it's huge.
Well, I'm going to email everybody on my email list about this as well.
Copy us on that.
Pardon?
Copy us on that.
Oh, okay, sure.
Kind of like the snowball effect,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we'll take those.
Anybody can, not just on, just
No,
not
I'm doing
there.
everyone.
If you could say that you've copied cable, and they'll probably be emailing you something, because I don't want to get into trouble for sending somebody an unsolicited email, even though it's a consumer concept. I'll be
Because
talking
my whole
as a
family in
consumer.
Toronto are with Rogers, and they don't know anything about this.
No?
I could charge for this.
You should.
I'm a consultant, Robin. I need some business cards.
That's the nice thing about dealing with a personal cable company.
Absolutely.
Well, the buck stops here. My father's still the president and primary owner, but you want an answer and you want a decision. It happens. So our decisions happen like that. Things that we want to do happen like that. We don't have to hold a meeting or go talk to the board. So we're fast. We react fast, and we know how to do things differently and get things done a lot differently. Because we don't have any engineers in our business, in our company, so they slow things down. They're great. I love engineers. Anybody an engineer here? Any iron rings? Okay, they're
You
slow.
have people who answer the phone
Oh, yeah.
versus somebody in some foreign country you can't understand.
I would like to say that's true 100% of the time.
That's what we found when we moved into this area here, is that it's a personalized service when I'm talking. When I have a problem, I've got a problem.
Yep.
I want an answer. But when I'm talking with somebody in St. Catharines or somebody in Winnipeg about a problem in Lindsay,
Let me escalate to my supervisor.
We
I'll-
go
Siri is serious, and we got Egypt.
Yeah, we subscribe to Sirius
On our
Radio
car?
in our car, and
We
we
got
phoned
Egypt.
to renew our membership, and the guy I was talking to was in Cairo, Egypt.
If you sign a deal with the guy from Egypt, there's got to be some legal loophole that they have to have you there in person to sign it for it to be a legally binding document. That's a nice trip.
Yeah. Well, one of your IT people last year, my modem died from my Wi-Fi, recommended to get one that doesn't have that aerial thing.
Oh, the rubber ducky antennas, they're
And
useless, yeah.
then I had all these wires out at the back of my computer, and I'm not knowing what to plug where, and I called the IT, and he said, okay, you do this. He was almost an hour on the phone with me. And I said, you've got an old lady here in her PJs with all these wires.
Stop it.
We got it working.
Yeah,
Good, I'm glad we could help. We do have great staff, and I was kidding earlier, they're not lazy, they do a great job. And they have the power, because I'm lazy, it's not them, it's me. I'm like, just deal with it. They take care of things, and they know how to do it, and they know how to test my limits, but they don't tick me off. They get it. They know how to take care of customers.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and I'm a very patient guy anyway, so. Yes, sir.
Will unbundling affect the analog service?
It's hard to affect analog because it's an open signal. It's not encrypted, or we don't have any way to control who watches it. If you go and hook your line up.
Blank off sections.
Pardon me?
You blank off sections.
So we have tiers. We have the movie pack and the value pack. Oops, 3. We have the basic package, movie pack, value pack. If you don't subscribe to the movie pack or the value pack, we have to go roll the truck, take this device called a negative trap, put it on the tap. If you don't take 2 of the packages, we put 2 on, and you only get the movie package. Or sorry, so you only get basic, sorry. So there's a lot of traps in the system. And to do a la carte, 71 channels, and you only want 2, the traps will have to dig a hole in the ground just to get, so the taps don't scrape the ground.
What's going to happen when you unbundle? You have a tremendous job you have to get every customer to do all this?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the analog world. Maybe we'll do some kind of incentive for people to upgrade to digital. It would be cheaper.
But even with your HD, what happens then? Like our bundles, you're not going to get them. You have to change every.
Here's the exciting part about HD. They're giving it away now. Yes, we're gonna make you take everything. You're gonna package it this way, and you're gonna pay this much. And if you want to charge it, you want to give it away by itself, it's this much. But we're giving it away, the HD with it. Big deal. Although I only watch HD, but that's a small victory. That's like a slap in the face. So HD is not going to be. It's not going to be an extra fee to you. So you're going to probably see, and we are reviewing our packaging, HD content that is paired with a standard definition channel. You're going to see that those packages go away, and it'll just be included, which is a plus. So there's a small thing.
But won't you have to change every customer's thing
for analog? Yes, but
not for when their buttons are gone.
well, it's all done through software and boxes and keyboards. So it's not a challenge. That's not the challenge. The challenge is how to package it. Here's my bundling mind.
I've found with us, we've got both analog and HD, and I don't know if it's happening to everyone, but on the digital one, we get a lot of fracturing sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's not happening on the analog.
Have you called us
Oh, yeah.
to fix that? Have we come out to take a look at it?
Pardon?
Have we come out to take a look at
Yes, actually did, and then, but I notice it's when there's bad weather. Is it the signal, or?
So the thing about digital is it's really finicky when it comes to transmission. And so you're not going to get rid of pixelation altogether, but you should be able to mitigate it or eliminate a lot of it. And one of the biggest parts is wiring inside the home. So that might be something we have to look at. And if you're concerned about your pixelation, it's happening a lot to the point where you're like frustrated and don't want to watch that channel anymore, give us a call. We'll come out and check out the levels. For instance, we did I think it was 2 days ago, we did a truck roll to a house that had 3 digital boxes, and it was one little rusty connector that caused all the problems in the home. We replaced it, everything was fine.
Yeah, I sort of remember the fella saying something about might be the wiring.
Yeah.
Because some of that cable the guys got between the floor and the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
built the house, that's the way they put it in, but,
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can look at that.
okay.
So you call us. We
I
will
will,
fix
I
that.
will.
Yes, sir.
Two little things. We put our, putting addition on our house, so we went underground, we rid of the stack and everything else. Yesterday, the man came to change, he gave me the cable to fall. I buried the cable, now I'm ready to have it terminate it, hook it up underground. He found out that where he had to hook on, it was kind of wriggly, and what it was, the squirrels had chewed the wire.
Yeah.
So you get the water. So every time we get a rainstorm or a high wind, we got interference.
Yeah,
It took a year and a half to find it, but he found it.
Yeah.
Another little thing is my wife, she has her one computer here, another one over here, but she has a radio beside it. The radio, the RF outlet was affected. As soon as you move that aside,
Oh, interesting.
so that's.
Yeah, when you're inside the home and you're doing even your microwave, and when you turn your microwave on, that's emitting frequency and RF signal, and it just causes havoc everywhere. But
Some of your cables will have a little winding around it.
Yeah,
3/4 inch. That's
That
to use
could
the
be,
RF.
yeah.
A lot of the cables don't have that.
Yeah.
So those cables are transmitting a signal
Yeah.
and interfering with.
That's possible, yeah.
yeah.
I know.
Keep those magnets away. Those are magnets. Keep those away from your computer. They'll unless you have a flash drive, they will wreck your drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. We found that the hard way.
Okay? Done?
We're wrapping it up. Thank you everybody for coming tonight.
I think we just need help on making sure we don't miss some of the points that you mentioned or think of that we could put in our letters.
You can feel free to submit questions. You can contact Robin, and Robin and I will brainstorm and come up with something wonderful and inspiring. But you can't plagiarize it. No, you got to. I need 10 distinct.
Distinct, absolutely.
I counted you, Rob or Kristen. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
After working, I like to go home, lay down on the couch, turn on the big screen TV and watch a Leaf game, right? Or baseball game. I like sports. I also like movies. I use Netflix. I believe in Netflix. We've advertised that we are a Netflix-friendly network. So I prefer the TV. I am not opposed to throwing on Dora the Explorer when my daughter's in the car. I've done that many times. So it depends on what it is you're watching, where you are. A lot of it is impulse-based too. It's hard. There's no crystal ball to say what's going to happen with the type of viewing habits, how that's going to change. But what we're here today to discuss is our opportunity to shape that and give comments back to the CRTC. So my comment to the CRTC would be, stop. Let me just go back a second. One of the biggest hurdles in providing TV everywhere is programming content accessibility. We're finding more and more that broadcasters are saying, no, you don't have the right to distribute it online or over the internet or make it a TV everywhere product. We're not going to let you do that. That's a negotiation that we always lose on. There's a few broadcasters who have actually won those arguments or those negotiations with, and so we're starting to do that. However, until that changes, you're going to see TV everywhere at a standstill. And technology-wise, it's like I said, it's hard for me to put a crystal ball to that. But there are a lot of people who do it, who use every screen. Your mobile phone, your iPad, your television, and your computer. So it's a mix. But yeah, I would argue, I would agree with you in saying that everybody in this room is comfortable with their TV.
So is the CRTC doing this for sure on bundling, or is it still at the debate point? And are they're going to go through with it anyway, regardless of what we say, or?
Well, there's a lot of talk about this being political soapbox to get the consumers on the side of the Conservatives for the next election. I believe that the current commission,
CRTC is very interested in pursuing unbundling. I think that, and there's already some program, or some distributors that have started implementing unbundling. So I think it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then people are going to find ways to watch what they want to watch, when they want to watch it, and how they want to watch it. I mean, people getting rid of their cable, satellite, and providers, but more.
I'm finding people at my age, which is mean to the room. Some just starting now in the city, they're just cutting their cable off, and they're going to the internet, and they're watching TV shows when they want, where they want, nationally and internationally, and they just don't want it anymore, and they don't want to pay. My only complaint about bundling and unbundling is, like you, I like movies. I really hate that I have to watch the movie channel, which is not programmed for me, and in order to get HBO. And I want HBO, and I want HBO Canada, is fine, but I don't want to watch the movie channel because it's not programmed for me. It's basically very popular. It's not wide-ranging, the movie channel and its programming.
I agree. I totally agree.
And I agree with cable.
An argument for unbundling.
Yeah, but I understand the issues you've got regarding pricing and all of that.
Well, with HBO, it goes beyond pricing. It's an American product.
No, I know.
America's already said no to unbundling, so they're not. So in the U.S., they're not allowing unbundling.
They're not allowing.
So HBO saying, well, we'll let it happen in Canada. That won't happen. So if unbundling does go forward, you're going to see a lot of U.S. programming just say, we're stopping at the 40-minute parking lot. But like you said, people will find a way to get it.
They will, and the internet is, with Amazon and Netflix, they're starting to produce their own material.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
It's terrific material.
Yeah.
Terrific.
So this is one of the major incentives for the CRTC to step in and do this, and it's in the distributor's best interest to unbundle. However, if I unbundle my basic package, I have to charge you, 10, 20 times more than what that channel costs if I don't. And that's not something that it's not driven by my desire to get more out of your wallet. It's driven by economics, which is I need to make a margin to keep my network afloat and stay in business and pay employees who buy products and services in these areas. We're hamstringed when we go to, say, an a la carte model. Broadcasters and programmers immediately say, it's going to cost you. And until that component of this concept is regulated or controlled or really looked at, I don't see it.
Can you do it as both though? Could people say, I want one channel and it's going to cost you $8, but if you buy 6 of that package, you get that one plus 6 others for $8.
Let me give you an example. Okay. So there's a company in Toronto called B Media, and they have already started their unbundling service, and they created a thing called YouTube. So they have a basic package. You start with your basic package, and you get all your local channels, off-airs, whatever. You get some things like TSN, AE, and then you get to choose. You choose one, it's $2.25 a month. Okay? You choose 6, it's $1.75 a month. $1.75 a month per channel. And just to start with that 6-pack, okay? All of the bundled service tiers that we offer are $5 for 6 channels. That's $1 per channel. Considerably less than $1.75 a month. But that's, and these guys are doing this to stay in business, so they're not dropping pants and saying, we're just going to give it away. This is a real price.
See, I think the perception out there, maybe I'm wrong and I just have it wrong, is that when you unbundle, it's going to be cheaper. That's what I was thinking, right? I'm going to just pay for what I want to see, and
yeah. Well, if you were,
people think that.
If you were,
now I'm hearing I should be pro bundle by the sound of it.
Well, I'm not trying to say.
I get it.
I'm saying, yeah. So I'll give you some rationale here. In my experience in the industry, if I can do that, as much as I can do that, I will. Bell Media owns 29 services. They recently acquired Stroud, and now they own the movie network. Okay? If I want to take, let's say, Travel Network, I can't just get it from them by itself. I have to take all the other 29 channels. They do this because they can go to their advertisers and go, and they also, what they do is they say, this is your you need minimum penetration guarantees from you, so if you're in, you have to package it this way, so if you're in, here's your price. And some of them will allow you to do a la carte, none of them will allow you to do TV everywhere. Go to it. So that's where things get hamstringed, and that's where unbundling will fall down. So until the negotiations are, for lack of a better word, arbitrated, I don't think the consumer's going to win. That's just a thought. That's my own opinion.
Right now, you distribute in analog. Everybody's airing and not airing, producing in digital. Why are you still in analog?
We have the digital and the analog.
I'm paying for the digital, which surprises me because everybody sends stuff to you in digital, do they not?
Yeah.
So why do I have to pay extra to get digital?
I don't understand.
Your regular programming is you send out the basic package is analog. If you want digital, you have to pay for it.
You have to pay for analog, basically.
Yes, but the digital is more. And you have to buy a box or a PVR.
Yeah, that goes to the question. So I'm not here to talk about cable. I mean, I'd be happy to talk to you and have that discussion with you. But what we're here to talk about is how do you want to watch your TV? What are your choices? So the question is related to
cable. I'll send it to you.
What brought you here tonight? Was it your own accord, or did CRTC say, can you provide, or do you have to hold these meetings?
No, this is our own. We're probably the only distributor that's taking the initiative. I don't think it's fair that this is an issue, and we got that video from the CRTC offline. I don't think it's fair that they're. How would you know about this if we hadn't stepped in and done something? The consumers don't know. They just don't know. I don't think it's fair. I think you all need to know, because a little bit of self-preservation is here as well. I mean, I would want people to know so that they know when we say, sorry, we're not going to unbundle this. Not, hey, that's a big bad cable company. That's been a reputation that cable companies have been trying to shake for years since Mr. Rogers introduced his negative option billing back in the day.
The first rumors that I heard about this went down a year ago or more even. There's a lot of channels out there that are broadcast free, but when they're bundled in, we're charged for it. That's my opinion.
By contract, we're not allowed to charge for something that is given to us for free. The certain channels are free that we redistribute, which are the off-air channels, like the CTVs, the CBCs, and the Globals. But everything else that has a subscription wholesale rate to it, we are allowed to charge a fee for.
It's just a rumor, I picked up.
Yeah, it's a good rumor, right? There's a lot of myths and truths out there, and it's hard to decipher between the two.
So as it stands right now, I couldn't go to you people and say, I want this channel, and that's it.
Not right now.
Okay.
No. I'm interested in doing that. I have to go back and renegotiate all my contracts. Which isn't an issue. It's something I'm interested in doing. With the other side play ball.
But it would be more expensive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, likely. And I'm looking at the current models that I see out there, it would definitely be more expensive.
My biggest complaint
personally, the TV that I own all the town have is a duplication. That's my biggest problem.
Yes.
There's a lot, but I don't watch the crap. Okay, that's fine, it's on there, I don't have to watch it, that's my personal choice. But it's a duplication, I got 70 channels and 15 are the same. What the hell am I paying it for?
It's a silly proposition these days when you can get what you want to watch anywhere. This gentleman back here is well aware of that.
Yeah.
What do you want to watch? You want to watch King of Thrones is a series that was airing on CTV. They can buy that series on Apple TV, commercial free.
Yeah.
You don't have to see it 17 times listed on your EPG. It's frustrating. I agree with that. But right now, until
I agree with that. But right now, until the rules of simultaneous substitution come into play, it's not going to go away. There's a lot of regulation that needs to change.
I really enjoy the Oasis and that TCM or TMC, Turner Classic Movies. But the problem with that is now I'm watching that for quite a while. There's a lot of repetition of those movies there, but you saw it about 3 times.
We're talking about licensing here, and that is also an issue. The CRTC would love to hear about, you want to watch this, you want to watch that. Well, a lot of the licenses are not available for purchase here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Or to distribute in Canada anyways. Unfortunately. Yes, sir.
I'm not completely sold that unbundling is going to cost more money, because if I look at, well, I mean, I come from Toronto too, where I was on Rogers, then I went to Bell 5, and you know, you look at the sports bundles, for instance. Let's talk about the Leafs.
Okay. Oh.
But when Leafs goes on the Leafs TV, it's in another package.
Yeah.
And you got, you know, your TSN on the package, so you got to buy maybe 2, maybe 3 just sports bundles, sports packages, to be able to see all the Leafs games.
Annoying. I agree.
Yes.
I want that to stop.
That's where your price is high. You unbundle it, and maybe it will be cheaper if you can grab Leafs TV and grab TSN and put it in your own sports bundle.
I find it very interesting you brought this up as a sports related topic, because that is an entire truth. Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, you know, Leafs, Rogers just paid $5.2 billion for NHL, but they're still letting CBC carry some of those games. Luckily, the CBC is not a specialty channel, so specialty channels like Leafs TV, in the advent of unbundling, will disappear. And you know, my opinion on what's going to happen with the NHL in Canada is that if you want to watch hockey, you have to buy center ice eventually, unless you subscribe to the Sportsnet channels and you can watch some games. Most of them will be blacked out because of the regional services. Yes, sir.
Isn't there another kind of plus side to unbundling? Possibly. It all depends on the pricing. Whereby if the other plus side to the pricing is that, yes, you'll pay more for an individual channel that you want, but also you have an option to not buy all those other channels that you can get rid of and packages.
Yes, and back to this gentleman's. So let me just correct myself then. I should have qualified it more in saying you're going to pay more on a channel basis, but the question whether or not your bill changes, that is the question. It could go up, it could go down. Yes, sir.
To get those channels, are you going to require an extra box to bring them in, or will they come in on your standard TV connection?
It depends on the type of technology you subscribe to, which is what the CRTC wants to hear from us all about. So if you have an analog connection, only the services that are delivered by analog, you'll only be able to get those. Unbundling is not really a target for analog cable, it's a target for digital cable, where you can easily change the packages. So if you have a digital set-top box, we don't have to do anything else. We just have to create packages, say here's packages, and you choose packages.
So in addition
or unbundled packages, sorry.
Sorry, in addition to the channels, you're going to have to either buy or rent
a box that will decipher the channels so that they come through on your TV.
Correct.
Unless your TV is equipped to handle, which a lot of the new ones are.
Well, it's true. A lot of the TVs have a digital tuner in them, and they will receive, it's called a QAM signal. They also have, most of them have an IP port you can connect to a network. So it depends on the licensing or the agreement between the service provider and the programmer. Are you allowed to deliver this free and clear, or do you have to encrypt it? If you have to encrypt it, then you'll need something to decrypt it. So yeah, there is a box per se.
Is this not going to open up the thoughts of eliminating cable and going to satellites?
I think the opposite. In the on-demand world, the guy with the biggest pipe wins, and cable has the ability to deliver significantly more content than a satellite. The satellite has limited space. It's very expensive. You need compression technology, and it's not a two-way concept. What I mean by two-way is, sure, it can broadcast down video signals, but if you want an on-demand service, you need to have a broadband connection. So, and you know, that all plays back to not just bundling channels, but now bundling services. You know, who's your internet provider? Who's your TV provider? Who's your phone provider? We good? Did I bring up more questions and answers?
All I look at is that, you know, I looked into both your cable because I have it, and I also looked into satellite. And strangely enough, I could get a lot more channels that weren't duplicated through the satellite for very little more than I would have paid cable. And then, as this man says, you know, you have 15 channels and 13 of them are duplicated. HBO only owns about 6 movies because they keep putting them on 3 and 4 times a month.
I want to dispel that myth. It's a misconception. But again, much like this gentleman's issue, I would like to address that with you. So if we could maybe discuss at a later date. What we're here for today is to talk about unbundling. We're as consumers. I'm not here to talk about cable products and services. I'll draw on my knowledge about cable to facilitate something we can take back to the CRTC, but to talk about cable right now is kind of self-serving, and that's not why we're here. But I do want to have that discussion with you. It's important to me. So if maybe we could collect your information at the end of the session. Would you be okay with that? Thank you. Yes, sir.
So with unbundling, do I understand that there would be separate, your service or transmission fees would be separate from your different cables and that, or different things you do? Would be a separate service fee or transmission fee or something?
I don't know about it being a separate distinguishing between costs. So transmission and distribution are 2 different concepts for us. So from an accounting perspective, we take care of those with different general ledger numbers. But from a consumer's perspective, all our costs are considered before we strike a price. And you should only see one line item from us. We're not doing it right now. I can't see us ever charging a transmission fee unless the CRTC said, Mr. Farini, now you have to charge a transmission fee.
Well, if they were to limit your different transmission, or say, well, you know, you can get 2 or 3, then someone's going to pay. You know, if you're only going to get, say, three channels or something like that, and you know, it's still the cost would either have to be higher for those than somebody that's getting 30 or something.
Oh, are you asking whether or not service providers will try to recoup lost revenues by other ways? That is a possibility. It is a possibility. It's called usage-based billing, right? From our cable video perspective, that's not a possibility. We either lose or we win. There's no, I can't. If we unbundle or when we unbundle or whichever the case may be, and you pick your pack. If it's less, it's less, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's your choice. And the CRTC is very, very adamant about knowing what's gonna happen next if we do this. And I'll tell you right now, the example I gave you about that company, V Media in Toronto, you're seeing that unbundling is you pick 6 channels, you pay more for a 6-channel package, but like everybody else pointed out, that may be the only package you buy. And so that your monthly bill is lower. So I hope that answered your question. No? Yes?
No, that's basically.
Yeah, no, we're not interested in saying, hey, well, you were paying 40, now you're paying 20, I've got to make that 20 up from you, here's a transmission fee.
Well, I'm just looking at the gas and power companies like they do that. You know, we're paying more and
Oh, don't get me started.
we're paying a lot more now.
Yeah, Grandpa Chris tried to corner me on what's going on, but I had to stop.
I find that in my position too, being from the old school, ignorance of the technology that's today, you know, like you mentioned, there's the broadcasters, all the different steps it takes by the time it gets to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you knew some of how that worked a little bit, maybe then you could understand how things like that work, but you know, like before, it's...
Well, the economics are right now it's a lot simpler, but tougher. Simpler because 95% of the content belongs to 3 companies, you know, and so it's called vertical integration. The broadcasters bought the programmers, the guys that make the stuff, and then they also bought the distributors. So they own all 3 components. So if Cable were to acquire TSN and Sportsnet, and then we were to acquire the guys that like ESPN licenses content to Sportsnet, and then we were to acquire those guys as well, we'd be fully vertically integrated, and we should be required to pass on those savings. You know, economies of scale. When you vertically integrate, your costs go down. That hasn't happened in any of these 3 vertically integrated companies. But you see a lot more marketing. That's where all those cost savings are going, is into those weekly flyers that you see. So it's simple and tough to understand. It's hard as consumers when we're not involved in that industry to know what's really going on. And so again, back to, I don't think it's fair that the CRTC just put a video up and just said, here you go. You know, I'll give you a great example. What was the advertisement that they put out about, oh geez, Fair Play or something. They did a whole bunch of TV advertising when they weren't happy with how some of the players in the industry were touting the federal government as the bad guys. They spent a lot of money on advertising. I wish I could remember what it was. I apologize, I can't. It was very recent, and some of those ads are still playing today. Why couldn't they do that for this? This is a very important topic. Very important.
So you as Cable, are you pro for unbundling or?
Pro.
You're pro.
Yeah, we're pro. We've been actually arguing for a la carte pick and pay for a long time.
Question on pricing and comparisons. And you say the U.S. has gone to not unbundling? They've decided they're not going unbundling?
For lack of better words, it is not happening right now.
Now, in comparison to the U.S., do Canadian subscribers to providers like you pay more than they do in the U.S.?
I don't really know. I think the programming packages are similar, and I think the basic rate, the concept, the model of the distribution model is similar across the industry. Yes, it is, and everybody pretty much charges the same thing for basic.
I know in California we paid less. We paid $100 a month for everything, and that was maximum cable, and that was with Time Warner.
Oh yeah. There are $99 packages, and I mean we have a $99 package.
Phone, internet, the
yes.
whole small.
And in the States, you have way more than 700 channels to choose from. So I would hesitate to compare the Canadian model with the US model, only because the US model doesn't say, hey, Canada, give us your content. But Canada does. Canada goes across that border, and I would argue 60+% of our content that we watch on TV is not Canadian. Maybe more. I mean, and a lot of that content's forced on us. Personal opinions here, not a fan of some of the Canadian content that's out there. Are you agreeing with me, or you want to ask another question?
So how is this going to affect our local TV, like say Peterborough, the channel?
Well, right now you can get that off air. Right, so like I said, if unbundling doesn't happen and you want a choice, you cut the cable, satellite, whichever, you just want to get off air CHEX, it's there. We do have an arrangement with checks that we bring it in over fiber into our system, so we rebroadcast it over our network, and there's no markup on zero. So.
But I mean, checks.
There's no volume.
There's what?
Volume's poor on
The
checks.
volume on check.
Oh, on the analog checks, or yeah, we have to fix that.
And we've got high def, you've got to have it turned up to 63 to talk, just to hear them talk. And then if you forget that when you change to another channel, man, they'll blow your ear away.
I will fix that. We're not here to talk about cable. We're talking about this.
Understood.
You behave.
I think I heard you mention when you were talking earlier that cable is, as far as you're aware, one of the only smaller cable suppliers that have organized sessions like this.
Or bigger. I don't know of anybody that's done this.
Well, if that's the only response to the CRTC's request for comments by that gentleman, I can't pronounce his last name.
Pentafundus.
Whatever.
Exactly.
If that's representative of the sort of response you're going to get, it doesn't strike me that the CRTC is going to have a lot of input on this point. And if that's the case, isn't it a traditional Canadian approach to take with respect to situations like that, that in absence of any persuasive argument to change status quo is the way to go?
Yep. But if we all march to Ottawa on the date of the hearing, and I can set that up, we all sat there in the building and said, here is Bobcaygeon, and here's their voice. Real Canadians with real stories. That's what the CRTC responds to. You can legalese your way through the CRTC any way you want. It's an argument. Okay, you cannot dispute real people. You can dispute comments, and this guy's representing this company, and he's getting paid to serve my best interest. But at the end of the day, it's Canadians and Canadian stories that will make a difference in front of the CRTC. That is a guarantee.
When you arrange the bus, maybe you should go.
I don't know. I think the city should pay for that.
But you're right. Having dealt with the city, if the public comes to a meeting, it carries a lot of weight rather than just hearing some representative.
You can have representatives representing anyone and telling a story, but until, it's like, I don't want to pay for Leaf TV in this package, and then I have to subscribe to Basic because CBC's there and they have Hockey Night in Canada, and then but the Leafs are also on Sportsnet. I got to buy all these channels. I got to buy all these packages to watch hockey. I'm not happy with that. I want to pick and choose them. I don't want them to be in this package and cost me. Because that's what I want to watch, or I want to watch HBO, or I can't use HBO because it's an American thing. But let's say it's, I don't know, we're talking movies, right? It's hard. There's not really a lot. So let's stick with the sports analogy. But it's real stories will make a difference. I've seen it happen.
But the fact that the CRTC isn't really letting people know about this, it's giving me the impression that they aren't that interested in hearing from people, because we wouldn't know about it if you had done this.
I tend to agree, with you on that. I think the lack of,
Well, there's been press about it.
there's been a lot of,
Press about it because
oh yeah,
I
But-
agree with the comment about he's looking for votes.
Yeah.
And they put it up because it's different than the other agenda he's got in the press right now, which isn't so positive.
yeah. But at the end of the day, Harper's not going to be the ones sitting down making the decision.
No.
It's the CRTC, and they've been silent. So I agree with you that.
Well, it's not as upfront as what Verizon was going to do with cellular. I mean, I know all about that.
Yeah, that was the ad. Remember those ads on TV? The wireless guys want you to think this. How much money did the Canadian government spend on those ads against an industry that is truly Canadian? It was so... I'm upset. But yeah, I tend to agree the CRTC is trying to create as little work as possible, because in the next 2 months, they are going to start and overhaul the broadcasting system in Canada, including, when I say broadcasters, we're a broadcast distribution undertaking. Shaw is a broadcast distribution undertaking. They're also satellite relay distribution undertaking. And then you have your programmers who also have broadcasting licenses. So the word broadcast is used for all the players, and there's going to be a large overhaul. And I suspect that the main point that I think you all should be very aware of this and have discussions about this. You want unbundling to be successful for your wallet, it has to be the price that is negotiated between programmers and the broadcasters and the distributors has to be regulated or looked at from a real perspective. And the vertically integrated companies have to be transparent in showing what the savings from being vertically integrated. You can't say, we're going to have a rate increase next year after you just paid $142 million or $1 billion for Austral. Like, who wants to pay for that? I don't. I want it unbundled.
Is Cable a private company? Do you submit, are you going to be submitting anything as a company to CRTC of how you feel?
Yes, Cable belongs to an association called the Canadian Cable Systems Alliance, and there's a lot of small independents like us. We represent about 1.5 million customers, and we will be putting our comments together. And I would like to take a lot of comments to this. Who's interested in going to Hull? No, sorry. I was old school in it there.
Can you explain a little more in detail how we will lose Canadian content? Because you mentioned that through unbundling.
How many of you have said, I'm going to go online and watch some Canadian content? You have?
Mysteries.
Murdoch Mysteries. Murder, She Wrote. Is that Canadian?
Yes.
Sorry, bad example.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I remember when it was Laura Ingalls and Relic, the Beachcombers, and that was good Canadian content. Canadian content is very few and far between. All the good content producers have gone to Hollywood because the market's so much larger. They have a better shot of the good performers are still good performers down there, and they make a lot more money. Up here, you want to produce Canadian content, you go to the government and say, I need handouts to create this, otherwise it's not going to happen. So it's going to happen. It's going bye-bye if unbundling happens. There will probably be provisions where certain channels still exist and have to be placed on the basic package. That's not going to go away, because I think the CRTC is interested in maintaining Canadian content, but so you have different categories of channels. So APTN is a protected channel. Vision is a protected channel. Channels like that will have to remain on basic. However, if I want to come along and do, I'll go out to the Canadian Shield and we'll get an axe and we'll chip a piece of rocket and we'll look at it and we'll talk about it for an hour. That's a specialty channel, and it will go away. Canadian jewelry, that will go away. Things like that. So when I say going Canadian content, I'm talking about specialty services, and they're really the only ones that make money. specialty channels.
So if we send emails to the CRTC, do you want to know too what we're?
I would love to take stories from this area and put them into our submissions.
So send them to Robin?
Yeah, copy us on the submission. No, actually you can't. Yes, you can. There's also an online form that you can go to on the CRTC's website. Yes.
So if they go to unbundling, does that mean that you will still have the basic package?
Yes.
And then pick and choose what you want to add to that?
There will be, well, yeah, you'll still require some basic level of subscription. So to receive your off-airs, your community channel, your legislative TV, certain channels, yes, there will be a basic service.
You need to give us everything and bill us for what we use.
You want me to turn the meter on? You don't want that. If I turn the meter on, it's going on and everything. Internet, phone. Last time, metering is, it works in certain situations. This is not one of them. But, I mean, Hydro One, that metering work, that's how you have to do it. But your channels are broadcast 24/7 to your TV. And do you want me to see what you watch and when you watch it? Because that's a Big Brother perspective, and that's what would happen.
Just out of curiosity, do you know how many hours a day the average Canadian spends watching TV?
A lot. We had that. There was a thing on it. Did you have?
Yeah, I saw that number. It's unbelievable.
We will tell you when approximately 2 minutes.
We're going to Google it.
26. Now it's on
26.
So
We have.
internet and smartphones now, so it's all over the place.
Yeah, you can watch. Yes, sir.
But the difficulty is, I mean, we could take a vote here and say how many support, and help you send the message to Ottawa, how many support the principle of unbundling? Simple question. And we all go, absolutely. I want things to change. The next question is the question that you can't answer, which is the one we really need to hear is, okay, although the example you've used of B-Service on the phone is good, and we'll set a model. You say, okay, the good news is you've got unbundling. The bad news is you got unbundling because the channels that you specifically want and you all care about, you're going to pay for.
Which leads me to believe this is a soapbox kind of opportunity from the Conservative government who mandated the CRTC look into it. Hey, average Joe, I want to save you money. I want you to have choice and flexibility.
Well,
right?
It certainly seems to have worked with the wireless service and phones because they moved from a 3-year contract to a 2-year contract, which is helpful. And so I think they're trying to create the same culture in this instance. And to be fair to the CRTC, they've been inundated with issues about bundling and unbundling.
For years. For years.
There's been a constant complaint from the public.
Yeah.
Probably from the inception.
Yeah.
And so I think but it would be interesting, is there a consensus in this room in favor of bundling or unbundling? And the simple answer
there is.
Yes, unbundling.
Yes, it's unbundled.
I can't say it anymore until you and the majors can say, okay, this is what it's going to cost you, and you pay for benefits. So if you want unbundling, it's going to cost you a little more for those channels you want.
It will cost more for those channels,
the bill might be cheaper.
but if you only picked 6, then it's a win.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I mean, and back to the gentleman's comments about if I want to watch an HD or Leafs when they're on Leaf TV, I have to have this package, right? I might get into trouble. I really don't like Leaf TV for that reason, because the rest of the time there's nothing on.
Yeah, you're only watching 15 games or whatever. That's all I care about on Leaf TV.
Well, see, Maple Leaf Sports was Maple Leaf Sports, and they had the license. And then what they did was they had to recover all their costs from becoming Maple Leaf Sports, so they sold Raptors, licensing for the Raptors and the Leafs, to guys like Sportsnet and TSN. So we got hoed big time.
But you can find it on the internet through streaming.
You can find anything on the internet. Until somebody I'll get you in a second. Until somebody comes up with an intuitive interface, you know, that's always going to be the hurdle. Because this is so much easier. Kick shoes off, sit down, you know. Calls, cable, like ExpressView, sign me up. It's instant on.
And that's over here.
Googled it for you.
Okay.
Average Canadian spends about 30 hours a week watching TV. And that was from...
30 hours a week?
Yeah, 30 hours a week. That was from April of 2013.
Holy man, I thought...
Don't tell my wife that. I really don't. It's maybe 28.
Even though with all the way the technology is going today so rapid, the way things are going, with all the different little gadgets you can buy, TVs are going to be just history.
No. I love my TV. And I love technology, but my TV, love it. It's not a matter of the device you watch. This is an opinion. It's a matter of the content I want to watch and when I want to watch it. Like I said earlier, if I'm driving in the car and when are we going to be there? When are we going to be there? Here's Dora the Explorer. And here's Sippy Cup. Right? If I'm at home, Leafs are on tonight. You know, I'm a big Chicago Bears fan. Who watched Monday Night Football? Oh, that was an amazing game. I comfort on my couch, my jammies, bowl of chips, glass of water.
No beer.
Popcorn.
I don't want to say beer is okay to drink. Might have been one though. But I love my TV, so I also like to see what's going on with technology. So for job requirement of mine is to make sure that if there's a problem with one of our channels, I'm able to access it and see what's going on and get some things going on it. So on my iPhone, I can have an app that I can go in and see our videos as they come in and as they go out. So, but I don't use that to watch TV. It's just a technology thing. What I really like also is a Sling player. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, Sling Media. You hook this thing up to your set-top box, and if you go to Florida, you can watch cable, or if you subscribe to ExpressView or Shaw, you can watch them too, down in Florida, as long as you have an internet connection. And it's awesome.
But you do have to, I would assume for that, you'd have to have unlimited.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so again, you know, TV everywhere is really going to suck for people who travel and want to watch TV everywhere on their devices where they are hamstringed by limits.
Yeah.
Right, so that needs to go away. So limits need to go away. Pricing on wholesale costs needs to be addressed. There's some key components and that's the reason, sir, why I don't have an answer for you today, is because those things haven't been addressed. And I'm just a little guy in this industry, and I would love to go and throw some stones.
Great. The fact I don't have your television because you won't come down my road.
Well, where are you?
I'm about 100 yards from your fiber line. I'm on the Grove Road.
Oh, right.
Right off 35, and you're really close.
Okay.
But you don't come down. So I get satellite. But I do get...
You have a wireless internet?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's unlimited. It's terrific.
Yep.
It's absolutely terrific.
Thank you very much. So we have wireless and cable internet. The wireless internet has been a good way for us to reach the edges.
Yeah, it goes across the lake, so it's fine.
Yep. Anybody? Grandpa Chris?
Well, I think a lot of people sometimes turn on the community channel and just leave it on all day. I've been in homes where this happens all the time because you've got the radio and you've got the information coming in all the time. So, I don't know, the numbers that you have for people watching per week, I don't think that's always, the average is always correct.
Yeah, that goes to how do we view local television as part of our viewing habits? Is that something we want to see? And I would agree, yeah, people love to see what's going on in the community. We're working as hard as we can, given the budgets that we have, to bring some content in. And interestingly enough, my father is good friends with Dennis O'Connor, who was the judge that oversaw the Walkerton inquiries. His Honorable Mr. O'Connor turned down many interviews to many recognized interviewees or interviewers, but said yes to my dad. So my dad got him on tape, and it's been airing. Is it still airing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check. Do you know the times?
Not offhand.
I think it just loops.
But like, if the information that it is on our community Facebook page, or if you were curious, I could most definitely tell you.
We also have a lot of young talent in the area, and one of the Jacket grandsons is an avid cyclist, BMX and mountain biking, and he created a video, Biking in Fenelon. And some of the tricks he performed on that video, the video was done really well. It was done with a simple SLR camera, and the person who edited it was very talented, and we're trying to get a hard copy.
Yeah, I've been talking with them. It's not on yet, but I'll make sure I let everyone know.
Yeah, so things like that. And I mean, you look at some of the, I forgot, and Grandpa Chris in the back with Max T. Mouse and that the recent thing, the swarm in Sobeys.
Flash mob.
Flash mob.
That thing is only a week old.
Yes.
And there's somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 views.
Yeah.
So ladies love it because it's shopping.
I watched it at least twice.
Yeah.
But so things like that we're trying to bring in and put on. Yes.
A little off topic, but are we any closer to actual video movie on demand, where you can say at 4:45 in the morning, I want to watch this movie, and then 20 minutes later go to sleep, and then when you wake up, turn it back on again?
Yeah, we've had on-demand video through our digital service for years.
But on demand, not when you air it, but you can specifically request.
Yep. The Channel 100, Channel 101, Channel 102, all the way up to Channel 125 are our on-demand channels. We're also launching TMN Go, which is a TV everywhere platform where you can watch. If you subscribe to the Movie Network, you can go online. And we're not the only ones to do this. But yes, we've had video on demand for years.
How much is a movie on demand?
$5.99 for an SD title, and $5.99 for a standard definition title, and I think $6.99 for a high definition channel or title. Yes.
But if you subscribe to the movie pack, 101 and 102 are free.
Yeah, not true on demand though. That's subscription on demand. True on demand is blockbuster hits. Library titles, westerns, stagecoach stuff. Yeah.
They don't have no idea what stagecoach is.
Spaghetti western. No, get it. All right.
John Wayne?
Yeah, we've had all kinds. So we've offered on demand for some time now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just didn't realize it was available.
If you
Western without John Wayne.
I'll tell that to Clint. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
So the submissions for January 10th, I'm just reading here, so the hearing itself is actually September of 2014?
Yes, and they're going to try and roll that in.
What happened between January, it would be nice if people could still submit their questions and have past January 10th, it's way up to September.
Another issue I have with all this. It's December. It's, oh my God, I got to go to the mall. I got to put up the lights. I got to put up the tree. I got to write my Christmas cards. I got to go see the grandkids. I got to my shopping list for Christmas dinner. And then after Christmas, it's vacation time with the family. And then New Year's, oh, my head hurts. And then it's the 10th of January.
So maybe that's one of your concerns when you send your list to CRTC, that the timeline
Absolutely.
is not enough.
Yep, I agree with that. We could probably ask for an extension. However, I believe strongly in picking your battles, and that's not one we'd win. They have a national deadline, so we have to meet it. It's a challenge. But I mean, we put this notice about this meeting out last week,
Yeah, like.
and you're all here. So we can do this.
But we, we got it because we got an email
Yeah.
about the meeting. So how many other people aren't even aware of it? Like,
Well,
I mean, not
Everybody that's not here.
No, but I mean, others who are maybe not on cable, but on,
Yeah.
well, of course, we don't know what their provider has done for them as well.
But I think we put this out on more than just.
yeah, and the other
This
thing.
is we're not. I don't think everybody here is a cable customer, and we're not here just for cable customers. We're here for as consumers, and we just so happens we work for cable, and we've got our logo on the screen, and we got our. Oh, look at bundles. We got the cable.
I was gonna take a question about this.
We're just here with our experience and our concern that this needs to be. We need to put a public voice out there, a local public voice. Because it works. You put a public local voice to a story, real people's names and addresses, CRTC responds to that.
The other thing too, in our marketing materials that we put out was information on how to submit to the CRTC. So if there was people that had already, it's great that you're here because we got to have a discussion, but there was people that could have just, directly emailed them without coming, and I made that clear too. So hopefully anyone who didn't show up and was aware will still take that time to write an email and send it in. That's my hope.
Yeah, so I'm getting the impression that we're all looking for some more guidance, better guidance on what to do next. So my suggestion, here you need to ask your question. What do I want? How do I want to watch it? And what do I want to pay? And what don't you like about what's going on now that's stopping you from getting these three wants? So what do I want? So my perspective, I want to watch what I want, when I want to watch it, where I want to watch it. How much do I want to pay? Less. Do I want choice and flexibility? Hell yeah, I want that. So put your thoughts together, start on a letter and just say what you want and what's wrong with the system that you don't like from a perspective of those three wants.
Does that CRTC form, if we go on that site, guide us that way at all, or?
They do. They have on the back of that, I think there's some discussion topics.
Yeah.
They've asked specific questions.
Okay.
Those are all the specific
That's
topics.
from that.
Yeah, I
Specific discussion topics.
Okay, good.
And, based on what we discussed here today, I've given you some rationale as to why things are so difficult. Why isn't there an answer yet? It's 2013. Digital's been around forever. You can select one channel. Why aren't we doing it? The technology's there. It's just it's shareholders, shall we say, for lack of a better word. Impress the shareholders. Anybody else?
So it's not inevitable that unbundling will happen. Even the CRTC is not saying that they're going to do it. They're just saying it might or might not happen.
Exactly. And my skepticism behind this working is solely tied to U.S. content. You have the large majority of content populating the television channels in Canada, and those content owners aren't allowing for unbundling. How's that going to translate up here? It's not going to do it very well. But V-Media is doing a good job of it right now. And as far as I know, they're the first ones to do it. So go check them out. Check it out. Say, yeah, I buy into that. They have, I think it's a $25 basic package. And then it's, like I said, if you pick 6, it's $1.75 per channel. So $30 and you get all the channels you want to watch.
Well, given to what you just said, do you feel that unbundling will not happen?
I think the government likes to play games. For instance, in the broadband industry and the broadband side of our business, the government came in and said, we're going to create some public funding for you to build all this stuff. And they came in and everybody responded to the request for proposals, and everybody got interviewed, and then they didn't really select a bidder. This was a long time ago. This is like 99. And they didn't select a bidder. But guess what? Everybody was so afraid that they just built it anyways. So V-Media, there's been no regulation, but V-Media has done this. They've done unbundling. So that's what I mean by the government likes to play games. It's kind of like a carrot. Yes, sir.
If they do use the unbundling, will that eliminate the analog channels? Because I heard that they were going to do away with those, and they were only going to be having high definition, which meant that either your TV was equipped for it. If it wasn't, then the people that had older TVs could buy a special box or rent a special box to get the high definition, or get rid of their old TV and buy a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like saying, you know, we're changing all this situation, but if you want to continue watching your TV, here's what you're going to have to do. And maybe your TV is good enough for what you're wanting, but it will not accept the high definition, so you're forced to go one way or the other. And
Do you
that was supposed to be.
Do you prefer to watch analog TV?
Sorry?
Do you prefer to watch analog TV?
I prefer to watch TV.
Well, I guess why I'm saying is because this is an exercise of saying what you want. So let me give you some background on analog, the disappearance of analog. Some companies are digital only, some companies aren't. Canada isn't mandated to get rid of analog cable TV. There was a mandate to get rid of analog over-the-air broadcasting and move it to digital. So kind of a misconception. Analog TV is still very much alive in Canada. And I would say that 40% of our customer base enjoy their analog cable. It comes out of the wall into their TV, very hassle-free, trouble-free. The obvious disadvantages of digital cable or of analog cable is that it's not interactive and it's a lesser signal quality.
Well, I know in talking to my son, and I think there's a lot of my age type in here, you know, your eyesight isn't as good now, so you know, because high definition makes it just a wee bit sharper than analog.
Whoa, no, a lot. Let me put in perspective. Here, you watch the Blue Jays on channel 20 or channel 19 in the summer on analog, okay? Watch it on analog for 5 minutes, and then we'll take the cloak off of the HD TV sitting beside it, and you'll kick yourself. You can watch the seams spinning on the ball in HD.
I watch a high definition on my TV, say sports, okay? Then I go to Toronto to my daughter's place. Why do I feel that watching their high definition is a sharper high definition than mine?
We have the same
TV. I'm sorry?
It could be a better
it's a better TV. We have this exact same ratio or bit rates as Rogers high definition services, and they provide. Right now, they're the benchmark for HD non-compression technology. So there's no limitations when you have a land-based system or fiber-based system. You don't have to compress your signals. Okay, so you're down watching Rogers at 20 megabits per second, and it almost appears like it's a soap opera kind of. It's very real. It's almost like you're in the room with them. It's really it's very vivid.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, traditionally watching movies, watching a very vivid movie production, it's weird. But it's the TV. It's the TV. It's refresh
4K,
rates, yeah.
4 times clearer than
Yeah.
HD.
So which one?
It's called 4K now. It'll supposedly make HD obsolete.
Yeah.
4 times clearer.
Speculation on adoption of different technology. It's out there. They tried 3D TV. That was a bust, right? So Who's to say what happens?
So what's a good TV to buy then?
What do you like? How much you want to pay? I don't know, Future Shop. Samsung. I have a Samsung and I love it.
Yeah, the TV technology is changing every couple of months, so.
Oh, yeah.
Same as computer. Keep up with it.
Yeah.
You gotta buy something now and hope that you can hold on to it for a couple of years at least.
Yeah. But sir, to answer your question about eyesight, HD is...
But then also when you're HD, is it possible that one day that picture is just, you almost walk into it, okay?
Yes.
Oh, it's so real. And then the next week or something, geez, it's not that clear.
The exact same channel, the exact same content?
Yeah.
No. The exact same channel, different content as a different program, yes.
Oh,
So you could be watching Game of Thrones on CTV and then American Idol.
Okay.
Different experiences.
Oh,
Different camera on it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so. But I was just trying to answer your question about why it looks different in Rogers versus, is it different there or here? It's the TV.
Okay.
Get a digital
Get the kids to buy it.
It's Christmas time. Did you ask for anything yet? Give me your kid's phone number.
And make sure it's a smart TV.
Yes, and you can get Netflix on. I love Netflix. Love it. It's one of the best things that happened to consumers. It's $8 a month.
What is that?
I got one problem with Netflix.
Uh-oh.
You get the same content as the US. I went on Netflix for a month and
Yeah.
watched everything I wanted to watch and I turned it off.
You can get US Netflix.
Yeah, so you get a proxy server connection.
This is being recorded. I'm kidding. There are ways to get around it. I don't do it myself, personally.
Yeah,
Never.
none of us do. I don't do it.
Well, do you have Netflix cable? Can I, if I wanted it, can I get it for you?
It's an internet-based service, so you would buy, and if you're asked my opinion, my personal opinion on the best way to watch Netflix, Apple TV. They have the most intuitive interface. It's easy to navigate. The remote control is
We've got that.
this. Well, I've never tried that one, but it's a flip side, and it's supposed to, the flip side remote. So you have a keyboard, and then you have a channel thing on, and then there's a Mercury switch. When you flip it over, it says, "Hey, I'm a keyboard now." I don't like the keyboard. I'm relaxed. I'm like this. I'm not. You like it? Never tried it. But Apple interface for me. Plus, you can buy stuff off iTunes. If so, okay. Confession.
What good is an inexpensive TV when your wife is totally in charge of the remote anyway?
Oh, sir.
Oh, now we're getting into it.
Sir?
Now we're getting
I watch movie. I like movies. I like HD movies. And if we're not carrying it, I'm going to get it on iTunes. Cable does carry a lot of the blockbusters. There's some blockbuster titles we don't get until later.
So you got your computer hooked up to your TV, is that it?
Apple TV is a box. It's like a mini, small computer. It's really hard to, without getting into the technology of it, it's a box, it sits on here, it connects to my wireless router, no cables, and I plug an HDMI cable into the back, done.
I got the same setup. It works great.
It works great. I have a set-top box and Apple TV. And a little shelf of speakers that hooks up optically to my TV, and I don't have to have these big speakers anymore. And I just shrunk the footprint of my entertainment system by 1,000%. So, but it's a big HD TV.
How big?
55. Well, I was just trying to impress that on this gentleman. Do you have an 80?
80.
Do you have our HD? How does our HD look on an 80?
Oh, awesome.
Does it? Good.
LCD.
Good. Glad to hear it.
How much is the Apple box?
100, 109.
They went on sale, I think, $99.
Yeah. We had an Apple TV promo a while ago, last Christmas.
We didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we only sent it out to certain people. Who did you select?
More than 30 hours a week. TVs on so long, it keeps the house warm.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat coming off of those, so. I believe we have time to answer your question now. And we'll answer some cable-based questions, unless if we've retired this issue.
Yep. Well, actually, speak with everybody else.
Since almost everything's being broadcast in digital, why are you still broadcasting in analog?
We have 40% of our subscribers who don't want to adopt new technology. Many of them are elderly. Some of them are in nursing homes. And it's out of the wall, into the TV. It's a thing of convenience.
Why, when you have I've got the digital package, but on the SD, I see a program, then on the HD, the same program. Why would I want to look at that regular station? Why can't you just...
I agree. I agree with you. I would just love to broadcast everything in digital HD, everything. Some channels don't offer an HD
where
companion.
They do, why can I watch it on both stations? Why can't I just watch it in the HD only and not see the selection for, you have a lot of channels showing. I'd like to get rid of it.
We have our channel 200 to 300 are our HD channels.
I go from channel 2 up to...
That's all. Channel 2 to 99 are SD channels. Yeah. Sorry, channel 2 to 99. Then the hundreds are on demand. Then our 200 to 400 are our HDs, and then 401 and up are SD theme packs. But with respect to duplication, we have none. Except when there's simultaneous substitution.
Okay. Yeah. YTV. There's YTV and YTV HD.
Yes.
Why can't you just delete that YTV line?
Because people who don't have HD TVs would be very upset. Oh, you mean on your program guide?
On my program.
We're working on that. I agree.
I want to get rid of those stations.
You want to see what you subscribe to?
Yes.
And thank you very much. Yeah.
And be able to hide. I guess that's the best way.
Hide. Yes.
Stations I never want to look at again.
Yes.
Bell 5 TV does that, because when I was in Toronto, I had Bell 5, I could take out.
Roger, it grays it out, and you can, so you select the options to gray them out, and then hide them. Yes, the advanced interface guides do that. We have probably a March deadline to upgrade our set-top box software, and that should address that.
Can't you delete those programs? What he's saying, can't you just go on and delete it from your TV? Then it won't come on.
I think he's talking about taking it out of your program guide, so you don't have to surf all the way up and down that program guide.
It's not the television. It's the box.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the software.
And I have to buy your box. I can't buy anybody else's.
Correct.
I have to buy it from you.
You know what? That is a great thing to put at the CRTC. I hate proprietary equipment. I hate it.
But my box is, if I move to Toronto, that thing is not worth a shit, right?
No, exactly. You gotta get another box.
You can do that.
It's got a different chip.
You can do that, but Rogers would have to accept a transfer. Thank you for coming. Rogers would have to accept a transfer request from us, and they don't do that. We've accepted transfer requests from people coming from Toronto.
Oh, I see.
I think there's only one that was declined because it was a rented box that they didn't give back.
I see.
So Rogers it just depends on who you're talking with and who wants to play ball. But yeah, equipment, and that's one reason why I don't like proprietary equipment. Is you have to get permission from the manufacturer to do the switch. It sucks. We rent, yes.
Or buy.
We will sell too, yes.
Yeah, well, when I got that, I was told I had to buy. That was my contention when I called. I spoke with a few people about that.
What?
When I got that HD box, they said you can't. There was no renting. You had to.
You must have been trying to take part in a promotion. There must have been some kind of promotion.
No, but then I bought it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, then why did I?
So if we do a certain promotion, we package it a certain way. Then here are the conditions of that promotion, and it should be spelled out in no hidden terms on that the promotional sheet.
The only reason for that is because I can't take it with me for an hour. They said, well, then the best thing to do is just sell it to somebody in your area.
Yeah. Or, I didn't say this, but let your cable bill rack up before you move and then give back the box that you purchased. And we'll say, we'll credit your account.
What's that again?
I didn't say anything.
Exactly.
Does cable have any plans to go fiber to the house?
We're doing fiber to the home in a place called Mariposa Creek Estates, which is south of Lindsay. There's some areas that we are also licking our chops at to put, and we would do a fiber to the home implementation there. But in regards to overbuilding our current systems, we're already, so this is the funny thing. We have been fiber in the community since 1985.
To the main
We just
line,
didn't market it the way that,
coax to the house.
well, yeah, but so what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make is, we've already been doing fibe type infrastructure since '85. And we've taken that fiber as deep as we can. We can go deeper and do this and that. It's all a matter of economics and what we can afford to do. But, you know, we have the fattest pipe into the home. You know, in maybe by 2014 or 2015, if Cisco does come out with the product that they're touting, we'll be able to deliver 500 to a gigabit of internet to the home. And we won't have to upgrade the coaxial plant. The coaxial plant, it has its issues, but it also has its advantages.
Does fiber to the home eliminate the pixelization?
Nothing eliminates pixelization in a digital world.
Is that you guys, or is that the broadcaster?
Sometimes it's us, and sometimes it's a source issue. Yeah, you have
I seem to get a lot of it lately. I don't know.
Yeah, jitter can happen. You can have a car drive by and shh, you know. You're talking about, that must be analog, because it doesn't happen in the digital world. Or are you talking about like it squeaks? You hear squeaks.
Well, sometimes a voice,
and a chirp.
It could be on the analog.
Yeah, that's an analog. That'd be, you know, maybe you had the microwave oven going or something. But in the home, that's where the wiring becomes important, right? And coaxial distribution in the home is, or wireless distribution in the home is what's happening now. That's the popular method. And it's still RF radio frequency and subject to interference. So that's where a lot of the pixelation happens. And, you know, we try to nail them down one by one, case by case, as we go. Yes?
The CTV and Global have their internet sites that you can now apply for some sort of channel so that you can watch it all the time, like different shows. Are you guys going to subscribe to that? Would it be a TV?
It would be a CBC Go. So right now we're doing a TMN Go launch by mid to end of January. So you can watch it online. So if you're not home, it's a TV everywhere application. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, so would it be then like a TV channel kind of thing, that you're like an additional channel?
You have to have
an internet part. Like
it's an internet viewing, and you would have to have a subscription to a cable company or a service provider.
Well, we have the TV cable plus the internet through you.
Yeah, so when we get Global Go launched, and CBC Go and CTV Go and TMN Go, when those are all launched, you'll be able to go onto their portal and punch in your customer ID and your name and password.
So will that be like a channel kind of thing, like an extra charge? Or
No. We're not allowed to charge extra for that. So that'll be just a value add.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like an extra channel kind of thing.
We can't. Did you want us to charge more?
No, like my kids are on the computer and they do, you know.
Just lets you go to their website essentially, or like download an app, or it's through the internet, and then you can like watch TV anywhere.
Yeah. So say there's a show on CBC that you missed. It was on at 8 o'clock last night. You didn't see it. If you subscribe to the CBC Go or CTV Go, you go on the internet. You put in that you're with Cable. You pay us for CTV. So now you link through all that. Watch that show online now, because you've missed it on actual TV.
So it's part of what I'm already
Yeah.
paying for.
Yeah, like you don't pay extra to have the on-demand TMN. That's just part of the TMN package.
It's just part of your whole. Like if you have TMN, you'll have TMN Go and be able to use it as much as you want for free.
This is true.
Yeah, I want you,
Call
man.
display on TV screen?
Yes, we can. Do you want us to? Do you want call display on your TV?
Well, I used to have it on when I had satellite.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I found it.
Did you? Okay. I like to know who's calling me too.
Yeah,
Or I turn my phone off.
before you get up off the couch.
I don't like getting up off the couch.
That's why you have kids.
Well, yeah, get me this, get me that. I'll get off the couch for them though, and my wife, but not.
Is there any way to preview an on-demand movie?
Yes,
How?
hit the yellow triangle. So if you go to channel 101, you're talking about, so if you go to channel 100.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kerr, for coming.
Mr. Junk.
Mr. Junkin, I apologize.
Thank you for putting on this session for me.
You're welcome.
Very informative.
Pleasure.
Good night.
Good night. Yes, if you go to channel 100 and you see a title that you might be interested in, you click on it, and then there'll be preview, buy, or back to regular, back to the previous menu. And if it allows for a preview, if a preview is included with that title, you click on the yellow triangle on your remote, and you get to watch the preview. And then that'll help you decide whether or not you want to buy it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
We were talking about watching the Leafs on TV.
Yeah.
Probably most of us here, when we last saw the Leafs win the Stanley Cup, all we needed was a coat hanger to watch the game.
Peter Puck, right? I love Peter
I
Puck.
went to see him when they played Boston, Toronto, and his son-in-law treated me, Christ.
That was my
That was
my
awful.
7th birthday. My dad took my twin brother and I to see so it was his birthday too. Went to go see the Boston Bruins beat the crap out of the Leafs. We had nosebleeds, but it was an amazing game.
Well, it was, they played well in the first period, and then they went to shit.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, they did. The Leafs the Bruins were a force. That was Gary Cheevers and all those guys. So,
Does your brother still remember your birthday?
I have to call him every year to remind him. Sometimes he calls me to remind me.
Thank you for putting this on.
So I would really, if you guys are all interested in, if you want to say, hey, can you reiterate or re-explain this, any guidance or direction you think we should take? I'd be happy to if you want to send Robin your contact information, send that to Robin. And then we'll get together and come up with some kind of idea. Your submission should be genuine and unique, not carbon copy. So, but we'll come up with a set of, we'll figure out what are the important questions, and we'll pay attention to what the CRTC is asking of us, saying this is what we want to know from you, and then we'll put something together.
You mentioned this, gentleman, for features of your system, hitting the yellow button. I never knew that was available.
That's what I didn't either.
I mean, there's no handy manual to say this is how it works.
I agree.
Come see
No,
me.
I didn't know that.
We're changing. Yeah, we're looking at implementing a new menu, a new software on the set-top boxes. It's not a very intuitive interface we have right now.
No, and
So
it's nice to get a help screen to go through that.
Yeah, not on. You won't get that on a set-top box. I mean, we can put that on the.
Internet even.
Yeah, PDF. We can put PDFs together. Maybe I think there is an on-demand PDF that comes with the set-top box and the software.
Who's the service provider for Peterborough?
Cogeco Bell Nextcom.
Because if
Well, next for TV.
For TV.
Yeah, it's Cogeco, Expressview, and Shaw. Well, and I'm talking about, so when you say service provider, Shaw and Expressview are satellite guys. If you're talking about wired, then it's Cogeco.
Because you talk, when you go to Staples or Future Shop, you buy a TV, and they told me, they come to your home, they'll set it up for you.
Yep.
That cable has far superior signal.
Was that John? Because he's on the payroll.
No, but that's what they told me anyway. So
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you for sharing
They
that.
say, like, their TVs or whatever, it's all high definition. He says, when you buy this TV, if you don't have it, it's not going to look as good as this. Okay?
Yeah.
So don't. But he says, where do you live? Bobcaygeon, you're with cable. They got superior. Theirs is much better than Peterborough.
Yeah, I don't,
That's what they were
some are. I used to be a Cogeco customer too, and I know that they do a lot of compression on their HDs. They try to do, so you can talk about ratios. So when you deliver a channel, you want to, in digital format, you have to containerize it with other channels. And the more channels you can put into a container, the more bandwidth you have available on your system. So traditionally, the ratio of HDs was 2 to 1. Cable still does a 2 to 1, but everybody else is doing 6 to 1. So that's a significant decrease. And it's, when you put it on a big TV, like an 80-incher with great refresh rates, and you put them side by side, it's noticeable. So I know
Isn't it also true that if you've got a wired line and you're 10th down the row and got the longest coax cable, that signal's deteriorating over the guy from the first?
Digital world? No.
No?
It's, digital is ones and zeros, and analog is sine waves, or what do you call those waves?
Doesn't matter how long the coax, because I used to be with Roger.
It'll deplete the levels, and you'll start seeing things like pixelation.
Yeah, because I had to get a booster.
Yeah,
because
but
it was the last one in the line.
it doesn't affect the bit rate of the signal coming down, just whether or not it pixelates.
Right.
So if you have pixelation, you have a problem in the line somewhere.
Is your telephone service cheaper than Bell?
Yep.
I didn't say it.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're...
apples to apples, the same features and the same packages, yes, definitely.
But then it goes out quicker though, like, you know, what I mean, what about reception? And
If you have...
usage, that's what I'm saying.
Here's, and I'm honest, if anything, we don't tout it as an exact Bell replica because Bell provides powering right to that phone. We don't power right to that phone. If your hydro's off, your phone's off.
That's right.
Because your modem, it's a cable modem with a telephony module in it. And I mean, there's a battery backup, but that only lasts for a couple hours.
Okay.
So
that's the only downfall is that your hydro's out, you're done.
Yes.
Yes,
but we are an amazing. If you're okay with that, that's our market, and I'd love to be a power to the phone provider. There's some investments that need to be made to do that. I don't know.
So if you
got to get a generator.
So if you go to you for a phone, are you still paying Bell for anything?
We connect with them.
No, would I? On my,
No.
would I still get a Bell bill?
No. No. You would.
a cell phone.
Yeah.
Generator doesn't help.
Get a
Generator doesn't help. When you guys are out, we're out.
Right. When we're out. So, like I said, there's some investments we need to make to make sure that.
I keep the house running there, but not the TV and the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest
Well,
problem,
you
because
yeah.
911 emergency is the, you gotta be aware of.
Yep. Agreed. But we do, and as one of the disclaimers, one of the upfront selling points is we tell people before they make the decision that if the power's out, the phone is out, no 911. That is a requirement. We're required to say that. I think Bell is too, to some degree, depending on their serving area. But don't quote me on that.
And a lot of times if the power's out, Bell's only good for maybe 12 hours and they're down too.
Yeah. Well, anybody that provides phone services, that's, they're reliant on power.
Yeah.
Right? And internet phone guys, so Vonage and all that, they have to put those disclaimers in as well. There's a lot of vulnerability in this connected world of ours.
What about this phone that says Tidomi? I see him on TV.
Wish I could punch him out, but he'd kill me. Calmway. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really appreciate you. So we're going to get back to you guys. You're going to get to us, and we're going to come up with some things. And
Oh, that was awesome. Thanks.
all right. Thank you very much.
Very informative.